Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to talk to you all about Larvikite, one of the most unknown crystals. People know it as black labradorite. It's actually not black labradorite, I call it black labradorite. It's easier to teach as black labradorite, but Larvikite is its own crystal. It's not in the same family as it is as labradorite as you might think it is, although it does have these beautiful flashes on it. It's from the Larvik Fjord, Norway, and it is very beautiful. So it's easy to remember as black labradorite because it has the properties of labradorite as well, but it actually goes into deep introspection. Now, how can you compare Larvikite to labradorite? And some people will find out that their labradorite is not actually labradorite. People fake labradorite very often as people use Larvikite and advertise it as labradorite or black labradorite, and they completely just rip people off and be like, yeah, this is labradorite, yeah, it's the same thing. No, it's not. It's like saying just clear quartz and white jade are the same. No. But anyway, under the properties of Larvikite, this is all about looking inwards. Maybe this is for other people as well. When I grab Larvikite, when I put it near my throat chakra, because it resonates with the throat chakra, the higher chakras, and the lower chakras. You can actually use it on both chakras. You can use it as a choker, you can use it as an anklet. It's kind of a grayish black stone with flashes in it. It actually does a few different things. So I'm going to teach you right now, any stone with flashes in it can send negative energy back to whoever sent it. So basically, it acts like a mirror. Let me try to show you any kind of flashes. I don't know, the camera's going to focus. There we go. The beautiful flashes in this. There we go. Look at that beautiful flash. It's an egg. Eggs represent protection and basically going inwards to work on yourself before you go outwards. New beginnings of everything that starts from within. So you can think of this as a crystal to tap into inner knowledge, deeper knowledge. Labradorite is a stone of spirituality. In comparison to Larvikite, this is a stone of spirituality as well, but this is more about discovering who you truly are. The more time that you use with Larvikite, the more time that you'll help find out who you are, who you were, who you are more a part of as a higher consciousness than yourself right now. Because if you think that you're just yourself and you're just on your own, maybe you're watching my video from home, maybe you're watching it from a computer, and you think you're alone at home, we're never alone. The Creator's always with us. The angels are always with us. Well, for good people, angels are with good people, but ancestors are with us. We have a lot of guidance around us. Our higher consciousness is always connected to us and trying to help us learn to become the highest being and form of ourselves. But Larvikite actually connects us to our higher consciousness. It takes us back to go forward. As labradorite is a spiritual stone, this is a black stone that is a black spiritual stone. So basically, it's all about tapping in and going in. So this will help you maybe even go back to past lives. And you do have to be very, very, very grounded to go into past lives, or you'll just be making stuff up, which I see so often. It's crazily disturbing. People who get completely ungrounded and use crystals that are completely ungrounding will be completely ungrounded using crystals that are ungrounding, coming up with ungrounded conclusions on who they were in a past life by some trickster spirit that was actually not them as a past life. Because guess what? There's not really too much evidence on past lives other than just certain patterns or trauma, but a lot of people and past life readers will get completely ungrounded and just make stuff up that was in past lives. Your past life information has to be given to you by a reliable past life reader or a reliable guide, a being of light, like an angel. So, Larvikite actually helps ground you at the same time as take you backwards into past lives and basically help you feel what you were feeling in past lives. I don't know what the information on Larvikite online says. I don't really rely online for too much information. I will go through online and basically go through, because if you ever notice, online has a lot of generic stuff like, oh, Larvikite intuition and grounding, protection, and the same thing it'll say for smoky quartz, labradorite, just etc. So online, I agree with certain things and I disagree with certain things. But Larvikite's all about an intuition where you have to tap within yourself to grow. Remember, like this egg, we all have to start within to grow without. Start within to grow outward, I mean. I'm sorry. Basically, Larvikite is very, very good for just look how dark it is. So with Larvikite and how dark it is, you'll have to realize that this stone, like Labradorite, is its own spirituality. So you'll kind of, I want you guys to try this right now. Put your hands over your eyes. So right now, put your hands over your eyes. What do you see? Some people might see colors. Some people might see images. Some people might see just black or clouds. Or everyone has different abilities on the third eye. But Larvikite, when you cover your eyes, will help you really figure out who you are. So once you're stuck with yourself, you get to learn more about yourself. That's what the energies of Larvikite is about. All about introspection, spirituality, just getting to know yourself even from past lives. And I would not come up with past life information on your own. It has to be from someone who's like an Akashic reader, or someone who's very good, or just a really reliable angelic guide. Now, with Larvikite, it's also a stone of protection. I told you earlier, the flashes bounce back negative energy. I'm going to make this very easy for you guys. So why is it protection? You can just think of black. It's a color protective. It absorbs. So this crystal will absorb something that's supposed to hit you. The flash will get it and bounce it back. Now, what happens if you shine like a red light? Like, let's say someone's bothering you with a red light in your eye. You're like, ha, I'm bothering you with the red light in your eye. And then in spiritual laws, basically anything that's a mirror is just basically bounce back, especially when you place your intention into them. Now, Larvikite is if someone's sending you a red braid to try and blind you, maybe you have an enemy at work who is messing with you and you wear Larvikite, you're gonna trust your intuition, you're gonna be calm, you're gonna be grounded, you're gonna help think the right thoughts, and their energies bounce back at them, and their own energy is hitting them. They're getting confused, they're getting messed up. They might not be doing their job the same way that they've been doing it because they've been trying to mess with you, and now you don't have a coworker because they're getting in trouble because they were sending you negative energy that just bounced off of them. And all of it is just because you programmed your Larvikite. And most importantly, you have to talk to the creator when you program your stones. The crystals without God is just, it doesn't happen. These come from God. These come from the creator. If that's a surprise to you, I've made other videos about that as well. But like, for example, with angels, you can't work with angels unless you go to the creator first. That's a thing. Nothing comes from nowhere. So with these crystals, you have to activate them with your intention. Make your intentions very clear. Hidden intentions will be revealed, especially with crystals. Certain people will not have luck with crystals if they're doing the wrong thing. The crystals will not work in their favor. It's like someone who is completely dark trying to hold light. It's just going to blind them and completely disorient them. But crystals side with positivity and side with light. There's crystals can't be used for bad. That's the beautiful thing about crystals. Larvikite is a stone that is just, it's very good for the mind as well. It's very grounding. It's very peaceful. It's just very, you'll be able to trust yourself. You'll be able to, especially when it comes to anyone who's using enemy tactics on you. That's one thing, especially like, for example, I said, you have a coworker at work and they're messing with you and they're trying to throw you off. Maybe that's how they get to you, is they throw you off and then they make you feel like you're having a bad day. Although in another video, I talk about how no one can make you have a bad day. We can choose happiness or we can choose to let things get to us. We have the power of making that decision. But the thing is, Larvikite will help shield and protect our mind, not like amethyst. Because amethyst dismantles it. These crystals work in different actions. This is more like a protective barrier. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it comes from the Larvik Ford in Norway. But Larvikite has a very Viking-like energy to it. It has a very... When I meditated with this, and the Vikings used crystals. They knew about the power of crystals. And what came to me with Larvikite is that they would use Larvikite as something on their ships. Something like just to protect them. It has a heavy, heavy water element. A heavy just protective water element, but it has like a wall to it. It reminds me of Game of Thrones. And just like when the ships try to roll in, this is the wall from the ships. That's what kept popping into my mind. Larvikite does not play around when it comes to protecting you. It's literally like a wall, but it's like a wall in water, if that makes sense. So when enemy ships try to roll up on you, like in Game of Thrones, they'll hit the Larvikite, kind of like them hitting the darkness of the trenches and being claimed by any darkness that they claim themselves. So people who make you have to be your enemy, Larvikite keeps you on your toes, keeps you strong mentally, and it helps you go backwards at the same time. And when I say backwards, it means going backwards within you to look around. Because if you keep walking forwards and you don't if you don't address your mistakes without looking behind you, making sure, like if you are someone who leaves trash all over the place and you're looking behind you, making sure you're picking up all your trash, then that's going to help you develop. Same thing with Larvikite. If you're making bad decisions, Larvikite's good for decisions. It's good for very just peacemaking decisions. So it'll help you make the right decision if someone's trying to get to you. It's crazily protective. I call this a ward. W-A-R-D. So basically this acts like it has an energy that kind of like just pushes things, kind of like a resisting wall. It feels like a black wave that reflects things back. So as the wave pushes against like enemy ships, people's enemy ships being someone else's negative energy, it's kind of like a black wave just kind of pushing and weighing down on them. And the water element in its protection form feels like it's weighing down on people who are trying to get to you. This crystal is very underrated. It's not a lot of people know about it. People just know, oh, that's black labradorite. Yep, it's labradorite, but it's black. It's not black. It's not even labradorite. It's its own crystal. That's kind of similar to It's kind of similar to labradorite, but Larvikite is very special. Once you get to truly appreciate its energies just on its own. Don't call it black labradorite if you're gonna think it's labradorite. I call it black labradorite because it helps other people learn that it's kind of like labradorite, which makes it easier to remember, but it's not labradorite. It has its own properties, and it's just wonderful for protection and spiritualities. It's just a different stone. If you know about Larvikite, not many people can say they know about Larvikite. A lot of people do have Larvikite. There is a lot of Larvikite is either flashy or not flashy. It's not a hard stone to be flashy. It's a pretty cool stone. I think people should try and meditate with it. It's very, very strong on me. It has a property of helping to enforce your mind as well, help to enforce your brain. It has, like I said, I like to make these crystals easy for you guys. So protection, spirituality, and its just mechanism of protection is kind of like a heavy water and a reflective. Like you look at water and it's reflective. The water pushing against the ship pushes enemy ships away. So I hope I made it easy for you guys to learn about Larvikite. It comes from the Larvik Fjord in Norway. It's a very beautiful stone. If you want to go inwards to find out who you are, if you don't want someone telling you who you are, if you want to tap into your intuition, maybe you can't feel the energy of crystals, grab Larvikite, hold Larvikite. This crystal has the energy of the raven. It's a very like just kind of a dark stone, but it's kind of a dark stone to be understood, if that makes sense. Grab your Larvikite. If you're like, I can't feel crystal energy, grab your Larvikite, sit down, write down 10 to 15 random words about Larvikite, and you'll find out new information about Larvikite than online says. You'll find out more information on Larvikite than anywhere else. You might learn something about Larvikite that I don't know, and you'll be able to teach me, and then I'll be able to teach everyone else, because my experiences come from meditating within, especially with crystals like Larvikite, from other people telling me their experiences after they've gotten Larvikite from me, and just from, like, sometimes I'll take a break from Larvikite and I'll put it on a different place. Like I'll put Larvikite around my neck versus around my anklet, and I'll feel it's something completely different, and I'll realize that this energy resonates with this chakra very differently than it resonates with the root chakra, which is another quality about Larvikite. So you guys will learn things about Larvikite that just is not online. I don't like for you guys to rely on online for information. Crystals are a lot easier than online says. Online's very generic. You will probably make more information than online will ever have just by your own intuition, which Larvikite is a crystal to help you tap into. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Ciao!